Hi everyone, I've got another beginner guitar lesson for you today, and today we are going to be looking at power chords and how to play them. They're most commonly used in like your rock music, metal, normally on an electric, but I'm just showing you on the acoustic because it's easier. You can still play them on the acoustic, so don't think that they have to be played on the electric at all. What you have is you have a basic shape that you can move around on the low E or the second string, the A string, and that shape does not change no matter where you are along the fretboard. Okay, so let's just start off with a couple shapes to begin with. I'm going to show you your A power chord to begin with, and if you want to play that, you need to put your first finger on 5 on the low E. You want to put your third finger on 7 on the A, which is the next string down. And then you want to also put your pinky on 7, but on the third string down, so that's the D string. Okay, and then what you want to do is you want to play all three of those together. Okay, and that is your basic power chord shape. You can move that anywhere to the left, anywhere to the right. As long as you keep that shape, that is a power chord shape. Okay, so this one that I just showed you was your A power chord. Okay, one technique that you need to try and make sure you do is when you are playing a power chord, you need to mute the rest of the strings with your hand. Okay, so when you're playing this chord, you need to make sure you're using that first finger just to mute the other 3 strings, because otherwise it could sound like that, which doesn't sound too bad, but if you're playing a power chord, you don't want those extra notes coming through. However, if I move that 1 fret to the left, that can end up sounding absolutely horrible, and I really don't want your guitar playing to sound like that, okay? So make sure you're using the bottom side of this finger here just to block those strings, so you've got this sound coming through, and then when you strum, if you accidentally hit one of them, it's not going to be overpowering the chord anyway. Okay, let's have a look at another one. So if we move that shape 2 frets to the left, this is your G power chord. Okay, so that's with your first finger on 3 on the low E. Okay, and it should sound like that. Again, making sure you're muting the other strings. Okay, so you've got your first one, which is A, your second one, which is G. Okay, right, after you've got those two, then we'll have a look at 2 on the second string. Okay, so now your first finger is going to be on the second string, and we'll start with the 3rd fret. Okay, and this is your C power chord. So on the second string, you want your first finger on the 3rd fret. On the 3rd string, you want your 3rd finger on the 5th fret, and on the 4th string, you want your pinky on the 5th fret as well. And then you're just going to play all 3 of those together. Again, the same technique applies. You need to make sure this first finger is blocking the 2 strings at the bottom of the guitar, so that's the B and the high E. You also need to make sure the tip of this first finger is blocking your low E, because otherwise you're going to have a low E coming through and it's just going to overpower your chord. Okay, so make sure it's only those 3 coming through. Okay, so that's your C power chord. So now you have an A power chord, a G power chord, and a C power chord. Okay, and then if you move that to the right on the second string, 2 frets, you're then going to have a D power chord. Okay, exactly the same rules apply with that one as well. So you have A, you have G, you have C, and you have D. Okay, and that gives you 4 power chords to start with, and it just gives you something to work on. Make sure they're sounding right before you even attempt any songs at all. I'm going to have a couple of other videos soon showing you just a few basic songs to learn with power chords. So once you've mastered this, make sure you check out those and move on to those. As always, if you have any lesson ideas or any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and make sure you subscribe and share. Thank you very much.